Hello, good morning and welcome back to the Fish Locker. My friend Chris and I have returned to the Big Fish Adventure Camp in Hasvic on Soroya. Let's go catch some fish. Chris and I are fishing from self-drive boats. We'll talk you through all the rigs, the tactics and everything like that as we're doing it. First order of the day though is to go and fuel up, check the forecast again, log into the Go Fish app and get going. Each day before leaving the harbour, you need to complete and register your plan for the day ahead and your safety checklist on the Go Fish app. And then record your daily catch when you return to shore. Skippering these self-drive boats. If you're born before 1988, not only are you quite old, but it works easier for you. I think you're automatically allowed to drive one. We, however, we've already got our ICCs, which is International Certificate of Competence. Which allows you to drive these boats. Right, fully fueled up, let's get fishing. Fishing in here in Norway the same as it is fishing in the UK or pretty much anywhere else we fish around the world. Having an understanding about what's going on with the water, a little bit of watercraft, and with the food chain is vitally important. So the first thing that we're trying to do every day is find where the bait is. If you can find where the bait is, you'll find where the fish are. If you haven't got any small fish, you won't have any for the big fish to eat. So we're looking for things like coalfish or capelin or anchovies or sandals. And the ways of finding that is the birds working. I don't know if you can see them, but coming along here we saw there was some seagulls working around. So this is what's made us stop here. If we can manage to pick up a couple of coalies, brilliant. Because that'll be. There's more like a cod. If we can find some coalies, that's great because we're going to use those as strip baits, and I'm also going to put a flapper down for a big wolf fish. Oh yeah. Nod, eh? Ideally, pick up a couple of 3 coalies to use as bait, and then we can start concentrating on some cod and some other fish. Looks like I found a cod now. Now this setup that I'm using right here, this is the same setup that I use in the UK to pollock on the wreck. It's a Penn solid battalion, 200 gram jigging rod, and it's a fathom low profile, but the 400 size. And on it I have 30 pound braid and a 40 pound fluoro leader. Well, the first fish on the first drop of the day, these are absolutely stuffed with little tiny white bait fish. You can see them down the side. I'll tell you what, that's not a bad first fish. Monstrous great mouth on them and thin perfect. Of course I took my time bringing it up, but no problem going back. And yeah, right now I'm just using a 120 gram speed jig. Also, because there looks to be quite a few cod down there, I am going to put a big shad down there. Right. I'm setting the big rod out as a sleeper rod. It's got a 400 gram shad on it. I'll show you it because hopefully that'll pluck out the larger fish. There's your coalfish. That's what we're wanting for bait. The reason we're here at this time of year, we're here, this place and this time of year is the prime time for a Skrei cod. This is the time and the place of the big cod migrate. So if you're going to find a 20-30 kilo cod, this is likely to be the place. Ooh, that's good. These fish aren't going down into a wreck. They aren't going to snag you up inside of a piece of feature. All you have to do is just keep good pressure on them. And a little bit of patience. The forecast this morning looks fair for heading off to try for a few cod in deeper water. And then the plan's maybe going to be, as the wind picks up in the afternoon, we'll move into the fjords to find some shelter and do a little bit of mixed fishing in there. It's either fouled up or it is a good one. They are all just stunning quality fish. There's another stunning fish there on the jig. Yeah, we aren't seeing any fish here that are above about 6-7 kilos. They'll move somewhere else. The reason why you're using really big shads, really big lures around here, is just because of the sheer volume of fish. And if you want to be targeting the really big ones, you use a lure that the small ones can't get in their mouth. So that's why we're using things like that size. And this one's just takes tail a bit. Yeah, we're not planning on taking any fish unless they won't survive. By taking your time bringing them up, these all go back really helpful. Let's not forget them. I'm hoping that like big bait equals big fish. So by putting like a whole flapper down and suspending it maybe 10 metres off the bottom, I'm hoping that I'll caught bigger fish.
Persevering in the corner. On one of the big shots, trying to get away from the smaller fish really. It seems to be working.
Missing lots of bites just because the lures that we're using are real big. I know it would seem like a strange thing to say, but you don't want to be spending all your day catching 10-pound fish.
There's a lovely fish on the jig, side wide Loki, 150 grams. Not really. Passing the time out for the big ones.
This on a jig as well. Oh, there's the jig. They are just stunning fish all around. Fantastic condition, lovely colours on it. That was all it was, just a 150 gram jig. a very lean one. I don't know if you can see, but the face is covered in loads of lice. The sheer volume of fish that must be out here, because there's, like I say, there's probably 60 commercial boats and probably best part of 20 or 30 recreational guys like us, and they're all catching fish. It is amazing. It's just about trying different, what we've learnt anyway. You should never leave fish to find fish. This is one of those situations where if you want to find a really big one, you're going to have to move around a bit. We're fishing in like 93, 94 metres of water, so it does take a fair while to get them to the boat. Stump, aren't they? This seems to be like the average stamp in this shoal, and I'm going to show you now. I'll put in here now how big this shoal is. That line was that fish that I've just brought up. We're in 90 metres of water, and there is probably 40 metres of fish. Oh no. Oh. Yeah, I've just found a codling, and Chris thinks he's an halibut here. He just sat with a shad in it.
I think it's a cod.
It's a cod. Nice one. Yeah, we found a nice little patch of fish. All we did, steaming from one place to another, saw these birds working, and then thought we'd stop to try and see what we could find. And yeah, we've hopefully found some nice cod.
Yeah, really nice one about today.
Twins. Can't get back far enough. Yeah, man, chucked mid-water. Oh, well, look.
Oh, yeah.
Capering is there. These fish are absolutely full of little tiny bait. I don't know whether you can see them in there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's it. And sundails. Turn this camera over there. No messing around. And the bait that they're feeding on, just, it's still alive, look. Little tiny capling, but they must just be absolutely walloping it. Yeah, let's see if we can't get back to where them birds are and see if we can't have another one of those. We're steaming over to a spot, just literally saw birds working, like you would do when you're fishing for bass in the UK. And there was only a patch, like a couple of metres across.
You could see them coming out, yeah.
Yeah, as we got close to it, you could see underneath the water, all the fish were all stacked up. So even though we're in 70 metres of water, my fish took about 35.
Everything you know about cod fishing.
Oh yeah. Goes against, well, even working the lures as well. I am definitely one for match the hatch. And these Sidewinder Loki jigs and the silver flashers I'm using are 100% like a capelin. I've tried to experiment with putting a camera down on the seabed. First thing I notice is the clarity on the way down. All the way to 80 metres is fantastic clarity. I'm using one of my Fish Locker Skrei Pro lures, and immediately a tusk comes out and attacks it. A couple of cod have a look. I am purposefully not working the lure to see how the fish react to it stationary. Another aggressive tusk has a go. And a redfish. And another tusk. And yet another one. The seabed must be littered with these guys. Cod and tusk again show mild interest into the stationary lure. And in comes Mr. Wolffish. Wallop, no messing about. Up you come, let's have a look at you then. With a lure attached, one of my Skrei's Pro ones, and he's picked up a wolffish straight away, look. This time the lure didn't even reach the seabed before a cod clattered it.
How are you?
Can't complain, how are you doing?
Good. Biggest 15 maybe.
Walloped on the way down again by another nice cod. Brilliant. This is when I'm holding the fish below the boat. You can see the air bubbles being released and the fish equalising the pressure. Stunning fish are one of the prototypes. On this drop, I only wish I had known and kept the lure working. After this cod lost interest, there was a halibut inspecting the lure. Interesting that you have multiple cod investigating the lure, but because I aren't working the lure, moving it through the water and giving the tail some action, nothing wants to strike it. But when I start to retrieve the lure and give it some action, one of the cod immediately goes into hunt mode, chases it down and strikes. I've come in to a little bit of a sheltered bay to try and find some sand to drift for a flatfish. What I have very simply is a one up, one down rig, and I'm going to try and attach a camera to it to see if we can't see what's going on the seabed. Might work, might not work. There's only one way to find out though, really, isn't there? One thing that I will definitely say is the importance of bringing a good hat and a good pair of gloves, because I've had my gloves off for about maybe 10 minutes when I was messing about with something, and even though it's not windy and it's not raining, they quickly got cold. So yeah, it's just going to be a little bit of bait, like a strip of coalfish belly. Drifting around, hopefully for a place, and I've managed to snaffle myself another one of these hideous great wolffish. There's the rig. Well, there's the hook just in his mouth. Yeah. But we both had a big follow-up for flatfish. Like I thought mine was a halibut. It was that big. But Chris has just seen one that was a place, so he said it was massive, so mine might have been a place too. But yeah, they're big. Typically, I sent a camera down with it and the battery's died. The batteries just don't like this cold weather. Like the water temperature's 2.9 degrees. Air temperature's in the zero, like negatives. We're only fishing in 30 metres of water, but it's quite up and down with sand. Trying to position the boat right to run down over a bank and a gully. I met a ray.
What? Oh yeah.
A new species for me. That might be a starry ray. Yeah. I don't know exactly what this is, but I will find out and I'll let you know. I'll tell you what, it's absolutely covered in thorns, like everywhere on it. Where is it? It's not often that I find a fish that I don't know what it is. They're almost like little tiny stars, aren't they? And the spines on its tail. See you later. Yeah, the snow's coming. That's a cracking fish. Well done, mate. Drifted around in this bay now for what, like a couple of hours? Yeah, quite a ray. I'm not quite sure exactly what it was. I think it's a starry ray. You've got a place. I must have had like 6 or 7 of these. I've probably had 6 or 7 of these really angry wolffish. Just everything they want to do is just like Seabed must just be littered with them. Snow's cleared just long enough to be able to see the hills over that way. On this side you've got these ones. One more drift and I think we're going to head back because it's going to be getting dark in about an hour and a half and it's snowing. It was very surprising how many places were actually down there. Now these rigs we'd knocked up were very crude. If we were here specifically targeting these places, we would have made them a little bit more refined. Doesn't get much better than that. Target achieved. God, it's a beautiful place. It's an absolute stunner. Straight down. nursing it. As the sun got lower, unfortunately, the light wasn't enough for the underwater camera. That one there is an absolutely beautiful place. It is last knock-ins now. The light is just fading. We've got sunset in about half an hour. That for me is the perfect way to finish. I don't know, how big do you reckon it is?
There's some scales there.
Big enough? And the rig is as simple as you can get. It's a 1 up, 1 down with 2 oar hooks on, and I've just baited it with a little bit of the coalfish belly. That great big gob in there. Yeah, just stunning fish this place here. Hey, ready? Down he goes. Time to go. Got a couple of stunning places out there. Right, the sun is about 15 minutes away from being down. It's flattened right off. It's time to go home. We'll see you tomorrow. Tidied up, cleaned down, flotation suits up to dry. That's another another brilliant thing about here. Rather than bringing all of our own flotation suits, which should have taken up loads of space in my luggage, we just rent them when they're here. The fishing that we're doing for these cod, these big cod, just by the sheer volume of fish that's down there, you're having to use a really big lure just to dissuade the smaller ones. When I say a really big lure, they're that size. 400 gram, and you're still picking up, I'm going to say, the smaller fish. We're having like non-stop 8, 10, like
14 pound.
Just non-stop of them. Yeah, that was on the new Skrei Pros.
Yeah, just tied a portal rig up just out of interest, see what.
So in order to try and get through them, we're having to go big. We decided to have a quick punt in some really deep water. I'm talking 200 metre plus water. From 200 metres down.
A 200 metre ling. The same size as a jig. It's a bit disappointing, but
I had another fish on in 200 metres of water. By the time it got to 100, it bit me off. So yeah, it could have been a ling, could have been something else. Yeah, my arms are tired. Bringing up them fish for, well, right now we're coming up a bank and we're at 193 metres of water. It's just relentless. Go try something else. Winner, sting you. There you go. That's a funny fish, that.
that's a big sort of trip.
I'll work the angle out. That is an absolute beauty. There he goes. Straight back down. I was busy trying to rig up a camera because we come over a shoal of capelin and they were about 2 metres below the boat and you could see them all, and I was going to drop it down in the middle of them all. So, Crazy Daisy did it for me. Now what you do is, as they come out of the pack, is they rig a stinger in the tail. So that if something comes up and snaps the tail, that's why I put an elastic band on there to hold the line up. I'm sorry, I'm doing my best with the sun, but what a nice fish that. Whilst I was landing my fish, Chris hooked a good fish of his own, and on the way up somehow the lines became tangled. It's not easy to untangle two 20-pound cod whilst hanging over the side of a boat. That's right. So, that Crazy Daisy's done it again. And like I say, because you take your time bringing them up, straight down. Fantastic. Definitely. These fish, it's completely different to how we'd fish from the UK. Fishing from the UK, you'd be fishing a feature on the bottom. You'd be looking for a mark like a gully or a rock or a wreck. Here, these fish are pelagic. We're in 107 metres of water and these fish are everything between 100 and 50. So we've got 50 metres of fish spread out. This is the Skrei. This is what we came here for. These big migratory cod coming in here to feed on the capelin. That is amazing. And once again, straight down. Now there's nothing wrong with eating these fish. They are all perfectly edible. They're in fact delicious. If we kept them all though, we'd just have too many. So yeah, while we can release some, we're fishing like this. If any of them properly blow to the point where they won't survive being released, we can return them. Whilst these are swimming back, we'll choose to do that. That is a big one.
It's a really nice one.
I'd go 30.
30, yeah. Very nice. Oh, popped it.
The new fish locker Skerry's Pros. Nearly it. Oh. Talk about match the hatch. You can see the fish in there. That's what they're eating. There we go, lad. Oh, look at it. Oh my god. That is a monster. Give me 2 seconds. Stay away with that.
Jesus. That's 30 kilos.
That is, yeah, that's the winner. That is monstrous.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
get it laid down up the deck. Yeah, that's a pretty big one.
Wow.
Well done. Right, just hold her nose up against, so you've got nose touching down there. That is 131. Yeah, 131. When you're ready, when you are. Go on, back he goes. Fantastic. Look at that. Well,
Thank you very much.
yeah, that's incredible. Go, there's another one. That's why you've got the stinger in the end. Tell you what, they are just phenomenal, aren't they? So just on a Portland rig like you do for pollock back at home.
Exactly the same. As long as you play them nice and light, I mean, they look pretty well, but yeah.
Right. Incredible, mate. Well done. There's a lot of fish. I can feel them back in the line. The sheer volume of coalfish in this show was spectacular. Unfortunately, though, as there were so many, they kept swimming into and attacking the camera, so the footage was absolute carnage. There's a Coley on the Skerries Pro. This video is from a week-long adventure trip that we had with the Big Fish Adventure Camp. If you haven't seen that video already, we had some incredible fishing. I will link that video in the description below. Really nice one. Stunning quality fish. Any one of those in UK and it'd be all over every single fishing publication for a month. What we're trying to do, like following the birds around, is we're trying to find shoals of capelin. Capelin are a little fish. I've tried to do a little bit of underwater footage to show you, but they're packed up in like really tight bait balls by the coalfish, by the haddocks, by the cod, by everything else that's eating them. It'd be a hard life being a capelin round here at the minute. Yeah, there's millions of them. Really incredible. The rods that I've been using on this trip, it's a new set of rods that I've just got. It's the Squall 2 Viking edition. I thought that was quite fitting considering I've come to Norway. Yeah, these, I've got the 20 to 30 and the 30 to 50. And to be absolutely honest, I think the 20 to 30 was the perfect one for you. The 30 to 50 is a little bit stiff. If you get latched into like a monstrous great 200 pound halibut, I imagine the 30 to 50 would be a good one to have. The 20 to 30 for the codding, for the shanning, for the 20 to 30 has been great. And I've coupled that with a Marquesa 16. And I've just got 45 pound braid on it. And I put a little bit heavier leader, like a 60 or an 80 pound leader. In fact, the other rod that I've been using is my jigging setup. That's a battalion solid jigging. And I've had a 40 pound fluoro on that. And it's been perfect. I've got bitten off on one of them. Oh, hello. Yeah, these fish, these big cod, the ones that we've been finding, most of them have been pelagic. They've been up in the water. So as long as you don't bully them, as long as you're not so good, just let them run and then bring them back, and let them run and bring them back. The same way Chrissy, your halibut, he did an over 2 metre, it's like what, 210 centimetre halibut, which is, how heavy was the conversion?
About 130 kilos.
It's over 200 pounds, and he did that on a slow pitch jigging setup. And true, it wasn't on the it wasn't on the jig by design. He was bringing up a little fish, and the little fish got eaten by the halibut. These are all smaller fish, so the other ones just popped off. And what strength braid have you got in there?
So I've got 20 pound braid, P1.5, and 40 pound leader. Just a little fluorocarbon leader.
Well,
it was just
got the hook in a good place.
Yeah, hook in the right place. But
at any point in time, if you'd have thumbed that spool to try and lock it up, it would just pipe off.
Yeah, it's just patience. But it shows it can be done. And I mean, these little jigging rods, you can't get them in the UK. I had to order it in, but it's a hock. I think it's a hotspot, so it's 150, so it's for 150 gram jigs. But yeah, testament to them, they are really good rods. The cod, they don't. I mean, that big one did run a bit, but you're backing the drag off, so you're not pulling the hooks out. So again, as long as you play them gentle, you'll be fine.
It's one of those as well where, like, if you lose one, if you hooked a cod in the UK down in Cornwall and I lost it, I'd be wounded. You lose one here, and within about 20 seconds more, you've got another one.
I mean, if you wanted to come out here for numbers, the jigs are definitely the way to do it.
If you're going to come out here for numbers, you can put 2 jelly worms or a perk on.
Yeah.
For it time. Truly, it is not only like the land of monsters, considering that we've had an over 200 pound halibut, like a 60 pound cod, monstrous great like specimen dabs, specimen plaice, more wolffish than you can shake a stick at. The sheer volume of fish as well is just phenomenal. Combined with an absolutely beautiful setting. Shortage of them around here. And all fin perfect with such beautiful markings on them. And because I took my time bringing it up, right, when I'm chucking them back, I'm making it flip so it goes in head first, like that. Straight back down. Obviously, if you land them so they go like that flat, and it'll just lay there for a second all stunned. Like, imagine diving off a diving board and landing on your belly. Goes in head first. Once you've taken your time to bring it up, straight back down. Chris is into a good one here as well. Right, well, we're going to go, we'll have another little steam round here, see if we can't find another decent patch of cod, and then we're going to go and try in a bay for a flatfish on the way back. Unfortunately, for some reason, the footage of the fish we caught in this bay was lost. to corrupted SD files or the cold or whatever it was. But the underwater footage is spectacular. You can see multiple players investigating the baits, the weight and the camera. I think this is fascinating behaviour. There you go. Yeah, it's conditions have got a little rougher from earlier. We're fishing in 153 metres of water. I managed to find a nice patch of fish. Crazy Daisy doing it again. Back alongside now, we're tidying down, going home tomorrow. Another amazing trip to the Big Fish Adventure Camp up at Hasvic on Soroya. I hope you enjoyed joining us. I hope you found it interesting. All the very best. See you later. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the Fish Locker YouTube channel, where we have hundreds of videos from our adventures just like this one. We upload new videos every Sunday evening, so don't forget to click subscribe and we'll see you on the next one. Let's go.